What is up, besties? Welcome back to my channel. Super exciting video today because I'm going to break it down for you what I personally do for my upper body and my lower body warm-up. First things first though, I gotta plug my podcast. Make sure you guys are following the podcast Instagram and listening to the episodes, of course, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and of course all of my other platforms. Snapchat, if you guys add my Snapchat, it's all really funny, goofy, non-fitness related content. Of course, my Instagram and my TikTok. Guys, I don't know what's been up with social media lately, but it has been whack. You know, Instagram was down for like 2 days. You never know. What if Instagram just disappears one day? So we want to make sure that you guys are following all my content. You get all the goodies. And most importantly, make sure you're subscribed, okay? 50% of you guys watching these videos right now are not even subscribed. So make sure you do that. So let's get right into it. I cannot preach enough the importance of warming up, okay? There are two different ways to stretch. We have the dynamic stretching and the static stretching. And what you're gonna wanna do pre-workout is the dynamic stretching because you are just going through full range of motion. You are not holding a static stretch. There are so many great benefits to obviously doing a dynamic warm-up. It helps with your speed, agility, mobility, overall performance. I like to kind of think of it as an elastic band, okay? So if you have an elastic band, so if you were to do a static stretch and you are holding that elastic band and you are holding at it, what is gonna happen? It's just going to stretch out when you let go. There's going to be that little white part in the middle that you were pulling onto where it's, you know, now looser. Think of it as your muscle. When you are doing your range of motion dynamic warm-up and you are just playing at it, nothing's really going to happen, okay? So we want to be making sure that we are going through range of motion with our dynamic stretching, getting the blood flowing, most importantly, and not just jumping into your warm-up, especially people that live up north or anywhere that's colder. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts, so when it is winter time, it is vital to make sure we are getting our blood flowing and we are working through range of motion because you're sitting in a car for probably 10-15 minutes that's probably ice cold, freezing cold, because it's cold out. There's maybe snow on the ground, and you cannot just jump right into a workout lifting heavy weight. You want to really focusing on getting that body moving and getting the blood flowing. When your muscles are warm, you will notice such a big difference in your performance, whereas if you were to just jump into really heavy weight of like shoulder press, 35 pounds, you know, if you're doing 35 pounds and that's your working set, it may be a little bit difficult because you didn't get a warm up. But if you were to get a warm up and you went for that 35, I guarantee you it's gonna be a little bit easier for you to pull through those working sets. What you're about to see is I get straight to the gym, I go right to the treadmill and I do a 10-minute walk at the speed of 2.8 to 3 depending on the day. Not only does it help get your blood flowing and just kind of wake you up, but it also does help with your 10K steps if you are someone that needs to get 10K steps a day. And then that's when we go, you know, over to where we feel like is a good place for us to warm up, stretch it out, do all those things, and we work our way up into our working weight. First up is you're gonna be the upper body. I'm gonna do a voiceover for this entire thing. Pretty much just heads up. Everything I do, there's no reps in set. I just do it until I feel loose. I will do it maybe 2 times for about 15 to 30 seconds if that's just an estimate, and I make sure that I do both sides if I'm doing a single arm or single leg variation of something. Alrighty, so just to kind of reiterate what I was saying, I go right to the treadmills and I do about a 5 to 10 minute warm up on the treadmill. When I'm walking the treadmill, this is typically a good time for me to program my workout for the day. I always start off with my same compound movements, but I do like to change up my accessories that I'm doing each week. And it's important to remember you don't want to exert too much energy from this walk, so I do a speed of 2.8 with no incline. You want to save all of your energy for your compound movements. So I typically get off, and yes, if you need to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. Sometimes that pre-workout will get to you. I always start off with my dead hang to decompress my spine. Obviously, find a good place where you can just hang from anything. It can be a Smith machine, an actual pull-up bar, whatever works. I'll decompress my spine for my upper and my lower body warm-ups, and you'll see here I start to do the shrugs. I will do these shrugs for my upper body days. Then when I finish this up, I will go over to wherever I'm going to start my first compound movement, and I will just warm up there. And I'll be honest, guys, you would think I know the names for all of these movements, but I legit don't. I just kind of move my arms around back and forth, and then I do windmills on both arms for like 15 seconds. Here's a prime example of something I have no idea what it's called, but it feels so good on the back, just kind of hanging from a pole, leaning side to side, and then doing it with one arm as well, and just kind of moving up and down. Oh, such a good stretch in your lats. And I know I'm only showing little quick snippets of everything, but I do warm up for about 10 minutes. After I finish up those few dynamic movements, I will work my way into some light resistant movements. Again, no idea what these are called, but these feel great on my shoulders. Obviously, listen to your body and just do everything until you start to feel loose. This movement right here is great for the chest. I will do this on every push day. And then on my pull days, I will do this bent over row variation with the band. During my warm up, I always focus on a good mind to muscle connection. Don't just be going through the motions, take it seriously and really focus on the contraction. And then lastly, with my warm up, I will then grab some 5-pound plates and I will do some lat raises, some light shoulder presses, and then lastly, this little chest variation. No idea what the name is, but you guys get the point. And if you have a fun name for any of these, please let me know because I would love to learn. But after all of that, we are now done. We are ready to go. We're going to start to warm up with the barbell. We do no weight, obviously, just for a few reps. We don't want this to be a working set, so do maybe like 5 reps. And once you feel loose and ready to go, that is when you can add your working weight. Alright, and now that you guys have seen that, that was my upper body warm-up, and now we're going to go into my lower body warm-up. My lower body warm-up is something that I have been doing for a few months now, actually not even months, like over a year and a half now. It has been the same movements that I've been doing, and I cannot preach enough how important it is to understand that you do not need a booty band to get an effective warm-up. You do not need a booty band to activate or wake up the glutes. The most important part of your lower body is obviously opening up those hips, getting a better range of motion, and really just feeling warm. You can totally get away with getting the same activation from just doing some dynamic stretching, full range of motion, body weight squats, lunges, whatever it is. So I'll show you what I do for that. A little bit of a disclaimer before we go into this. I do want you to know that you, yes, can use a booty band, but I do not want you to think that you have to be using one in order to see results with your warm-up activation or even seeing any type of glute progress. It is just something that will kind of help aid, I guess, in a way, but it's not needed, it is not necessary, and you do not need to go out and buy one. I literally threw my glute bands away because of how toxic social media can be. I don't want a beginner to look at me using a booty band and think that they need to use a booty band in order to see results. So that's just why personally I don't use one, but I will plug a good company that I actually use bands for with my upper body. The ones you saw, they're from Rawgear. They are amazing. I don't have any type of discount code for them, but I do really like their bands. Enough rambling, let's just get into it. Here's my lower body warm up, and again, I'm gonna do a voiceover for it. So as mentioned, I do the decompression of my spine at first, just hanging from the pull-up bar. Then I work my way into some toe touches. Again, going through full range of motion. You never want to stay in a static stretch. A lot of the movements I'm doing here are definitely a single leg variation, so make sure to switch over to the other side. These right here are amazing for your hips. One of the biggest thing that I notice where I can perform better is when I do get a good warm-up with opening up my hips. If your mobility is absolutely crap, you will have a very hard time progressing in the gym. That is why I cannot preach enough how important it is to get a good dynamic warm-up. My lower body warm-up is definitely very hip and hamstring oriented. I get back up on my feet and I will do opening of the hips and some kickers, if that's what they're even called. But at any rate, one of my favorite things that I do on my lower body day is I will grab a 10 to 25 pound plate and I will sit in a very deep goblet hold. What I do with my elbows is that I push my knees out. This gives a great stretch on my glutes, and then I'll lean on both sides of my legs, and that will give another great stretch in my calves. And then I do this little Kang squat variation, which gives a good stretch in my hamstrings and my glutes. Then I put the weight back and I will finish off with some just body weight side lunges just to open up the hips again and get a little bit of an activation in my glutes. And just like that, my friends, we are ready to go. Obviously, re-rack the squat rack so that way it's at your height. And I cannot preach it enough, guys. Don't go right into your working weight. I start off with just the barbell so that way I can kind of feel out how my mobility is moving. Take the reps nice and slow, feel a good mind to muscle connection, and then start to move up from maybe 25 pounds on both sides and then maybe even 45 pounds on both sides, whatever your working weight may be. And of course, we're gonna plug my Instagram. Make sure to follow that for the workouts. Hi friends, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was pretty much what I do for upper and lower body warm-ups. It will take me anywhere from 10-15 minutes, and then I obviously for both work into my working sets. Now for upper body, I do the same warm-up for if it's a pull or push day. Obviously, you know, the first movement that I'm doing will just be a little bit different. If I'm doing a bench press or over press, I still work into my working set. And then same for back day, if I'm doing like a barbell bent over row or something like that, I do work into my working set. I'll use just the barbell, then I'll add 10 pounds, and then maybe I'll add 25 pounds, and then I'll do whatever my working set may be. Never just jump from using a barbell straight to 45 pounds on both sides. Very important to stay away from that risk of injury. Potentially, I will do another video where I'm going over my cool down. I'm just not the best with the cool down. I will call myself out on that. I will be in the rhythm of doing a cool down with static stretching, and I will stick to it. I promise you, I will. But if I'm in one of those funks that I'm in right now and I'm not doing my, you know, static stretching post-workout, I literally will not do it. Don't recommend what I do by avoiding it. It's very important to be getting that done. You will notice such an increase in your performance with your compound movements, especially if you are getting a good static stretch in at the end of your workouts, because your mobility, your flexibility, chef's kiss. You will even notice it that you're less sore, you're able to push through your workouts a little bit better, your recovery is top notch, whatever. So I hope you guys, again, enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe. Love you guys so much, and I cannot wait for the next video coming up next Wednesday.